We know that $20.01, okay, moves it into common law, into where there's not a lien on these properties, okay? A trust doesn't fail to lack of a trustee, and because these taxes haven't been paid, they're going to come in, right, and they're going to see. And it's not really a lien until you default on something, but they're administrating from that position, which allows for them to come in and execute some statutory provision, because that Article 1 tax hasn't been paid. You know, the $10 import and export. You have to export it out of the territorial jurisdiction, and in this case, their statutory provision. Okay, because they've created these 3 different liens based upon the right of way and the meets and bounds and their fake ass, designation of how they describe the property. So they're holding these things. They're waiting on you, okay, to do something that allows for them to come in and try to, assign some type of penalty or something to that degree, right? As soon as they do, that's where the lien really officially kicks in. But until then, they're administrating from there. Even though it says private property, because it's not really private property, you're still in a tenant relationship.
In common, that's what they called me on the papers of the civil case.
Right. You're a tenant. You're not a landlord. See, I only know this because I'm a landlord. Okay, and I mean that on the highest level. I'm a landlord, and I understand how the property works and how they get. They use that little right of way right there. Okay, and they make everything convenient for you so that they can come out, and assess your property, find something that they don't like in your yard, send people out. Oh, your yard's not being mowed, so no one's doing it. So they'll send a trustee out to go mow the yard. Why? So that they can develop a real interest in the property. Okay, but if you shut it down immediately if you just cover all the taxes, because you're the only one that is giving it real consideration. They can't give it real consideration, not monetarily wise, because they don't have any money. They're bankrupt.
Hey, Freedom, hold on, Jesse. Freedom, if the TikTok sees you smoking like that, I just noticed in the comments, just turn off your camera. No, you're fine. Yeah, if you turn it off, I just don't want, there you go, Forensics Live to be taken down. Yep, see, because it just says consuming substance featured in this live could harm you. But anyway, you guys, I'm going to jump down. Thank you so much, Forensic, for all you do. We will miss you, but my offer still stands. You have to come back in 3 months. You have to, but I will catch up with you guys, and I'll always meet you on the flip side. Love you.
Later. And let me guess, is your house in a warranty deed? Is that a yes or no?
I can look them up real quick and see for sure what it is. I think it's a quit claim.
Okay, so you don't have a perfected interest in it.
No, I haven't done anything with them. I'm sorry.
Perfected their interest in it. So it's like, perfected their interest in it. So it's like, look what I found. You know what I'm saying? Oh, now I can straight over this.
I can't send in deeds and titles that I have.
Okay, and what type of deed is it conveyed in?
What deed is it conveyed in? What?
Is it a warranty deed? Grant deed? Is it, there's all different types of deeds.
Okay, one says quit claim on it. The other one says quit claim on it. So they're both quit claim deeds.
Okay. Let me guess. Did you sign the quit claim deed, or did just whoever signed it over to you signed it?
It was in my brother's name before it was in my name, and
your signature's not on those things.
Even signature is not on these things.
Well, see, you're a tenant in common. You don't have a real interest in the house.
Okay, so I signed it on the back.
You signed it on the back?
I will sign it on the back.
No, you don't. Don't sign it on the back. Nope. You're going to write up a notice. You're going to write up an acknowledgement.
Write up a notice that I'm going to write up an acknowledgement.
Yeah. Because your name is, so put your name on the claim, but you never put a signature. You putting a signature on there. You just witnessed the grantor conveying it over. Okay, and you accepted the deed, and you don't need to sign it. No, you don't. You don't need to sign it. Okay. You need to do an acknowledgement of it so that you can perfect your interest in it. If not, then guess what? It's just a free floating title. You're just temporarily residing there as a tenant in common, and then the county becomes the real landlord. Okay?
Yes.
A tenant in common cannot own property.
Okay.
So it needs to say, I last. What's the name on there? How does the name convey on there for you? First, middle, and last?
First, middle, initial, last.
Okay, so they have it in the authorized representative. So on your acknowledgement, you're going to put I last, first, the address, the right of way, and all that to him. And then he becomes the trust protector.
Awesome.
Did you have a trust set up at the post office?
One of my next steps is that setting up the trust at the post office.
Okay. Would you like for me to tell you how to do it?
I would love for you to tell me how to do it.
Okay, well, first we're going to start off with private correspondence, okay? You have to know how to do a private correspondence with the postmaster. Come here, little girl. What you got on your face there? Looks like some leaves or something. No, you're not going to take my hand away here. We're going to clean your little facey off. I don't know what that is. Quit it. All right, got it. All right, so write this down, okay? You're going to send something from your P.O. box, right? That first name, last name. All right, your P.O. box number, and down at the bottom right, you're going to put quote, capital T-O, full colon, Postmaster of the United States Postal Service, end quote. Okay? Mm-hmm. You're going to put first class stamp on it.
Can you say that again? I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's a quote, capital T-O, full colon, space, Postmaster of the United States Postal Service, end quote. You're going to put clear. You're going to put your documents in there. You're going to put a certificate of service. You can get the certificate of service right there at the counter. It's like $1 or something. You're going to fill it out. You're going to put one of the copies in there, and you're going to keep one for yourself. And you're going to slide it across the counter, and you're going to tell them to go drop it in the postmaster's box in the back. They might say, well, there's not an address on there. There doesn't need to be an address. Take it to the postmaster in the back. You're not sending it to another postmaster at another post. If you was to send it from there and you needed to go to another postmaster, then you would put the physical address, of that post office and then 9998. But there's no need to put an address on there, all right? Because you're dealing with the postmaster at your post. So this is how you have private correspondence with your postmaster. If you needed to seek an audience, then you would put a notice, put a little notice in there to let them know, hey, I seek audience with you so that you can settle whatever the matter is. Now, you're going to get your certificate of trust and your abstract of trust, okay? And maybe your power of attorney for your executive trustee. And then you're going to register that from the physical address of the post office to your P.O. box. You're going to register your trust to yourself. Okay? You're going to register it to yourself. So from the physical address of the post office, you're going to put physical address, unit number, right? And then city, state, and you're going to put 9998 private mailbox number because you're acting as postmaster of the day. Okay? And then you're going to send that registered mail to your P.O. box. Now, you're going to need a registered mail sticker, of course, a 3811, 2 3877s, or your manifold book, okay, and a certificate of service. You're going to do your ledgering, put all that on there. You're going to put one of the 3877s in there. You're going to put one of the 3802s, you know, that little carbon copy you get, it comes with two, and they ask you for how much is the value of this property. One of them goes into the drawer, right? And then you keep the other one, okay? Well, on the back of those, there's a carbon copy in the other one. You write on the back in red, priority special deposit to Postmaster of the United States Postal Service. Okay, and on the other one, you write the same thing in red. Because this is a priority special deposit. So you get your ledger in there and your certificate of service, and then you send it to yourself. When you get the green card back, okay, when you got to, when you go to your mailbox and you pull out the little slip, and it says you have mail, and you got to go sign for it. Well, you sign first name, middle initial, last name. You send it as last name, first name, middle initial. Okay, that's the agent. From the physical address to the P.O. box to the authorized representative of the trust. Okay, first name, middle initial, last name. And then when you receive that mail, okay, you've registered it to yourself. You're going to put that registered mail in an envelope, okay, in an envelope with a notice of intent, right, a certificate of service, and you're going to send private correspondence to the postmaster, okay, and you're going to write on there in red, priority special deposit. They're going to take it to the bag. They're going to give it to the postmaster. He's going to see that there's registered mail. He's going to read your notice of intent. And what you want him to do is to take this ledgering along with your ledgering that you put in there. Your ledgering goes on the outside of it, and then there's other ledgering. And if these two things match up, you're going to ask him to please update his manifold to reflect, that you are the registrant on behalf of this registration. Okay, he updates his manifold because when registered mail goes out, they automatically put it in the manifold. Okay, but just because you send it to yourself and it comes back doesn't mean that it gets marked in the manifold as being returned. It got returned to you, so you have to complete that chain. Okay, now if it wasn't sent to you, well, when you get all your ledgering back from the registered mail going out, you still have to complete the chain to show that it's been all delivered. So you would do the same thing and send your correspondence private to him so that he can update that manifold book. So if they don't perform on their end, you now have, you can state a claim to which relief can be granted because it's in his manifold book and he has to take it into account. There's two sides to a ledger, guys. Just like there's two sides to a piece of paper. If you don't take both sides into account, guess what? There's nothing to see here. Then, inside there is going to be your certificate of trust, right? Your abstract of trust, power of attorney. Okay, if you have an EPS account, right, you link it to your EPS account by putting in, the MID and the CRID and the EPS number, right? You put all that on your abstract of trust. Now, I would recommend that you use a 98 at the post office, right? 9998, 98 trust. Revocable living trust.
Do you just apply for the account at the post office?
For the EPS, or what do you mean by that? Be more specific.
Isn't it a post office account that you're the EPS? I'm sorry.
Yes, you start your USPS account, okay? and then it's got a profile on there, and you set up your profile. It's a business, right? So it's the name of the business is the trust, and then there's it asks you who is his who's his trustee basically, and then it asks you for the address. Okay, and now you've got your profile set up on your USPS account, and then you're going to go to the business customer gateway, log in with the same credentials. Okay, and then when you get in there, top it says paid to, right? Top it says paid to, right? It says pay to at the top. You're going to put the EPS account number right there. Then you're going to put your PO box. Okay. And then you're going to put right underneath it priority special deposit for credit on account. See, for what's paid for the money order, you're going to put that in another envelope with a certificate of service. Okay. And you're going to send it to the postmaster. You know what happens? Did you hear me? I'm not saying it again. If that's a $10 money order and you put $10 on the back, what's 10 times 10? Okay. So what do you think is going to be put in that account? I told you how to find your account.
Nice.
So think about it. What if you had $1,000 money order? Turns into what? How much?
If you had 10,000, it would be 100,000.
Well, you can't have a $10,000 money order. The max is 1,000. Right? You did a conversion on the public side by, depositing the money order in there. But if you don't claim the receipt, you have to get the red frank on that stamp, though. Red, not black. Red frank equals security. Okay? Now imagine what you could do one day out of the week for 6 days. Did you hear what I just told you? So you're not you're going to get the money order, but you don't need cash. You just need another money order.
So you
Okay, you're welcome.
Thank you.
Nobody will ever tell you that, but I just told y'all that. So y'all are welcome.
That was a lot, but thank you so much. I appreciate it.
You're a bank, not a debtor. You got to start acting like you're a creditor. You want to be accredited? You got to start acting like it.
Is that how everything works on tens like that?
Yeah, everything is fractionalized, is it not? And doesn't it say in the Bible to pay the 10% tax? Give 10% tithe?
That's fractional reserve banking. They times everything by 10.
It's biblical.
Yeah.
Comes right out of the Bible.
Wow.
That's deep. Just saying. That's a new one on me.
Good to see you again, YC.
What's going on?
You got the best hand, sir. I've been trying to get together and catch up with you with that DD-214 thing you was telling me about a couple of weeks ago.
Did I give you my telegram?
I think we were supposed to exchange. You told me to follow you. I followed you, but I'd like to.
I'm going to send it to you right now. I'll put it in the chat.
Okay.
Hit me up on Telegram, all right? When you do, send me a message and let me know what it is we're talking about, okay? Because I get a million messages.
I understand. I understand. You're just getting better with it. You're not getting old. You're getting better. You're getting better with it.
Now, don't do what I told you to do until you get your trust set up, okay?
Yeah, for sure.
It needs to be a trust transaction, okay?
Right.
Not a general deposit, okay? So this is not a general deposit, right? And I'm talking about this money order interest thing. You need to get your trust set up with Postmaster, Okay. Then you can start doing priority special deposit because you're operating in trust.
Right.
Okay. You cashed it on behalf of the trust, right? And then you're going to get your credit back on the other end, okay? Because you have a credit interest in it if you know how to do your equitable duty, right? To establish that you have a credit that's, an unclaimed credit.
Right.
Just like with the IRS, unclaimed credit, right?
That's right.
Your transcripts. Okay, well, guess what? Our EPS account is our transcript. Okay.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Why? Is that safe? Why safe?
That's fine. You said it right. There's multiple ways to say it. Some people say why, I say whatever.
I have a question for
I
you.
came in at the end of the you go ahead, whoever was talking. Oh wait.
When I just made two money orders. I had two post office, two different trusts, and the name. Do you still use the EIN number that the IRS gave you when you make a special deposit?
No, you don't use the EIN number at all. Except for when you establish a certificate of trust and abstract of trust. The way that I said earlier, you have to make sure. Okay, you have to register. Listen to me, okay? Just because you say you have a trust doesn't mean that your trust is established. Just because you're in your house and you think it's paid off doesn't mean that you're the landlord. Okay? You must establish that you have a real interest in these things so that someone can take that real interest into account. Okay? Into an account. You hear what I said there?
Yeah. 10-4.
So, I'm told how to do the private correspondence. Write up your abstract of trust, your certificate of trust. Put the guy's name that's the executive officer of the trust, the same one that's established when you do your USPS account, okay? And your profile, right? And there's on general durable power of attorney for this trust right here. Okay, and then you need to register that trust, okay, to yourself or to your PO box, from notice to agent, notice to principal. Okay, the principal has an authorized representative, right? There's three positions in regards to what I'm talking about. Obviously, there's a beneficiary, but I don't mention the beneficiary because the beneficiary is private. Okay, we're not obligated to disclose who the beneficiary is. Okay, but the other three positions are: there's an agent. Okay, there's an authorized representative, and then there's the principal. The agent receives the service to process, he ledgers it, and he registers the property. He forwards it to the principal, and then the principal, the authorized representative, signs off on it. Okay, and then the authorized representative, he does what he's supposed to do. If he has a fiduciary capacity and he's been recognized as a fiduciary and has those credentials, then he would go down to the bank and do whatever he needed to do. But in this instance, okay, the trust doesn't have a true fiduciary, but he still has a fiduciary duty now, okay, to make sure that those registered securities right there, okay, get ledgered in that manifold. Okay, that has a book entry going out, but it doesn't have a book entry coming in. This money order, like I was telling you, and you start creating credit for your trust. That's how you credit your trust. All that other stuff's nonsense. This is the easiest way to do it. You just get you a bankroll, okay, $1,000, and every day you buy $1,000 money order, but using the same bankroll. Rinse and repeat every day. But now you realize So, once you get your trust set up at the post office, okay, is to do a conversion. That takes like 3 weeks to get a damn check. Now, there's 3 forms at the post office that you can request card access. Okay. Side forms. So they're not something that you can print up on the public. So once you get enough funding in there, private correspondence to the postmaster and request some type of card access. That way you can access your credits without having to do all that. But I would still get a bank account anyways, because then you can get a Treasury Direct account, right? And establish your Treasury Direct account on behalf of the trust so that you can pay your bills. Or you can do it through the post office. They have CAPS. They have some type of system called CAPS, C-A-P-S, it's now under the EPS account, to where you can facilitate to pay your bills using the remittance. Because guess what? Post office has a drop box for those things, just like banks do. I would have charged you $10,000 for that information.
For sure. Yeah, you're right. I appreciate you, brother.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
I don't want to go.
But definitely appreciate it.
I don't want it to go without saying. I'm gonna give you your roses while you're here with me. I appreciate you, brother.
We're all suffering, man. We're all hurting. You got to get that monkey off your back, man.
That one. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Starving, about to get kicked out.
That one right there.
That's ridiculous, man.
And with the war going on now, we need each other more now than ever.
To run around telling people what I just told you now, okay?
No,
No,
it's to no basis.
it's not going to do you any good at the end of the day. This is for the people who are in here right now. Go take this and go utilize it, and then help other people that, need help.
But in this society that we're in, you got to be very mindful who you sharing this with. You know what I mean? It's that way. There's a lot of zombies running around out here that really don't have no concept of what we're talking about right now.
There's also a lot of people running around here trying to sell a process and make some money.
Yeah, that one too.
Okay?
Yeah.
Because I'm going to tell you directly, what you need to do.
Right. That one.
Is there any literature or shade that man do our own research
on this, bro? This is not common knowledge. Nobody's going to tell you this stuff. This is learned, by going out and doing things and being subjected to being around, at the right place at the right time, and hearing the right thing, putting pieces of the puzzle together, and understanding, so many different elements. So, it's not any real literature on this type of stuff.
It's a way of life.
Understood.
Let me ask you, can I ask you a question, Wise?
Yep, go ahead.
Can you hear me? What come about all the knowledge that you have on this topic?
The right time. Sometimes it's not about what you know, man. It's about who you know. And then it's also about experience, getting out and doing it. Learning the hard way. I learned how to do the registered mail.
Okay.
I had to do it 100 times before I figured it out.
I agree because I have to.
You got to perfect the process.
Because I agree there are a lot of people.
Go ahead, bro.
There are a lot of people out there put out information, but not correctly, like you said.
Well, also, like he said, you know, you got to have it in your spirit to investigate and do your own research to the point where you be guided.
Well, like he said,
right.
like he said,
I heard exactly what
he put it together. The way he said it, he put it together because he said that you can place these people, even though they give you references, they're not giving you how to complete
remedy.
it. Like he just went from A to Z. He just went from A to Z and explained in detail how to do it. And you don't see that from everybody who's putting out this information.
Right. Because they're thieves and robbers and warlocks and witches.
So,
yeah,
I want to do this. I want to help other people. I want to help other people once I learn this information. Because I think this is the only thing that's going to change things when people recognize what's going on. So I'm trying to learn to teach others.
Not everybody wants to be helped. Okay.
That one right there.
I
What
agree.
you need to do is make sure you take care of yourself and put yourself in a position where you can truly help someone else.
Facts. And you'll be led on who to help and who not to help.
Exactly.
I believe you'll be led to on your journey. Who's supposed to be helped and who ain't supposed to be helped on your way going through your own journey.
Man, motherfucker, I need some fucking expensive. That's crazy.
This bitch like I want to kill that nigga, baby. Wrist piece, Wayne.
Why is
I love all your stretch marks.
We flying pride. Got a lot she ain't been on mine. She's so good.
hey boy, you're the only one that is. You say you like you.
I know you got pretty feet up. I know you got pretty feet up. Put them in my shoes. Kurt said I'll
bottom left-hand side. What else did he say to do with it, man?
Okay. That's about as far as I got as far as the information. I haven't received it yet. I had requested because I'm not living in the state where I was born. So I sent off what I needed to have it sent to me. And I'm waiting for that. I do have a P.O. box that I've opened. And I've got the postmaster documents filled out because a lot of the documents were online on Google. So I got the document, but I have the document that you.
So hang on a second. I want to tell you something. Okay, you can't really be a postmaster of your post. Okay, not in the most literal way unless you take an oath. Okay, to be a postmaster. And it's not a state notary, just so you know. It's a federal notary. And it's that, forget what the oath is called, but most federal employees, okay, they take the same oath. And it's to protect and defend the Constitution and blah, blah, blah. I don't know what else it says. It needs to be federal notary. Because isn't the post office a federal entity? So you could take an oath.
So
right?
when you say federal notary.
Yeah, if you put a state notary on there, it's not going to work. Proclamation of postmaster, it's the same. Now listen, guys, okay? This is business, all right? Now I want you to start thinking about how corporations form their corporation and what is required. Okay, it all works pretty much the same way on the private side and the public side in regards to formulating your business in a corporate capacity. Okay, principal place of business, right? It's got an executive officer, it's got a secretary, it's got hours of operations, it's got a notice somewhere giving general notice to the public that this corporation has been formed. It has to register somewhere that it's doing business, right? Okay, it has to have an agent for process of service. You know, sometimes the office has to be bonded. Okay, so it always works the same way. It's just, you know, you need articles of incorporation. You need a certificate of incorporation. You can operate a corporation at the post office. You need those two things, right? Notice of publication. You know, I mean, it's always the same thing. You just need to understand what the requirements are for that type of business in order for it to be established and where it's going to be doing business and who its agents are. Okay? And if it's going to be an official capacity outside of your corporation, you know, that's going to hold maybe some type of office that requires an oath. Okay? And sometimes it needs to be bonded. And then you need to learn how to do a priority special deposit. You need to quit generally depositing shit. Okay? No more general deposit. Because you're giving it away as a gift. Okay? And then they take it and they special deposit it. Okay? And guess who gets the credit on account? Why? You pay for it.
Wow.
That's all this is. You need to understand the difference between a general deposit and a priority special deposit. Okay? Priority special deposit is in red. A general deposit, you know, is just an application with a blank endorsement on it. And most of the time, the people who fill it out aren't smart enough to even follow the order of operations. It says at the top, last name, first name, middle name. And then down there at the bottom, they're putting first name, middle name, last name. Okay, did you not know how to follow directions? If you put it that way at the top, what makes you think you're going to sign it down at the bottom in a different capacity? Competence, really? You know, then you teach order of operations. Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. That's really what that was about, teaching you the order of operations. Not necessarily how to do the mathematical algebraic equation, but how to follow an order of operations to get a end result, okay, that you can do the math forward and backwards, and it means the same thing, forward and backwards, okay? And that goes to the Bible, right? First shall be the last shall be the first, and the first shall be the last. See how that goes into that too? Okay? Guess what that is?
protection plan too, if you'd like. There's a protection plan for 2 years or 3 years if you'd like to add it. You don't need to though if you don't want to. If anything were to happen with it, you can go ahead and get it replaced absolutely for free. It's
pretty resourceful. Man, we need that, brother. Y'all see what the brother posted? Y'all go, you see it's on TikTok? Willie Mack? They got a book called No Career Survival Projects. It's pretty resourceful. Y'all get that book if y'all want to grab it. Our good brother didn't put it in the chat. Matter of fact, let me pin it so y'all can see it. I just pinned it, good brother. TXB, you can also grow veggies indoors. Yep, you ain't lying. Boss man, 100. Willie Mack, yes sir. D4 Light, thanks for the lights. Queen, thanks for the lights. Listen, y'all, we got to get prepared, man. We got to get prepared. Because again, this thing is not, see, they telling us on the news, I told y'all the news is a propaganda. Douglas said, I got that. Willie Mack, hold on, I'll be right back. Listen, the news is a propaganda. They filter it by the time they get to us. So if they're telling us one thing, in New York, listen.
These
Stay in tune and stay dangerous. Fresh Game Daily, stay paranoid. The new one. You ain't never lied. Listen, Fresh Game, me and my wife went to the grocery store Friday. Fresh Game Daily. It was one of them dudes, because you know, like if they Palestinian, they have a certain type of scarf they have on. You know, people be having their little scarves on. So this dude had an Iranian scarf on. So he over by the juice, my wife slide down there. I see my wife eyebrows standing up, because obviously she can feel the energy a little off. So I slid over there. I'm looking at him so crazy. Like, not today. Soon as you be like, in the name of, you ain't gonna get Allah out, bruh. You ain't, not today. Shit, me and wifey gonna take these groceries home, cook and eat. Do that on your own time. So when I tell you gang freaking, when I tell you good brother, man, I was on his head. Like, well, I'll do something to him. I'd rather do something to him, you know what I'm saying, than let him do something to us. You feel me? Douglas say, book, dollar apocalypse is a good one too. Free game, yep, not today. Energy is real. Exactly. Fresh game. When I saw my wife eyebrows go like, I slid over there. Like, okay, what's going on? She peeping something. She feeling something. I'm on it. Musafa, keep them off balance from this day forward. You ain't never lied. So black people, ultimately, stay at home, stay stocked up, stay in tune, stay dangerous. My good brother say, stay paranoid. Shit, think paranoia. Paranoia ain't a bad thing. Shit, honestly, paranoia is what got me through the hood. Being paranoid. Sierra, thanks for the follow. So it's 3:26. I'm off here at 3:30, so let me send some shout outs. The plans, Rule Dog 101, D4 Life, Mustafa, Life, Willie Mack, Stephanie Parker, Bossman, FB Gibson, 1947, Fresh Game Daily, Ashan, I'm gonna say ANA, All C, and Brianna Thompson, Milson Boone, Kashara, Shirley Silver, PMW 20, Trisha Lowe, Sange, Douglas, DJ 215, V-Ray, Market Mind Institute, Michael.
For your habit, how do you earn money?
That was so hard for me to figure out when I first got out here, because like a lot of people, they'll go where they like go in a store, you know, and they'll like fill up a bag and run out. But I tried that. I tried one time. I tried stealing chapstick from 7-Eleven, and I freaking got arrested, and they took me to jail for it, dude. There's people out here, they're like beating old ladies up and shit. And like, they took me to jail for stealing chapstick.
Wow.
And so I can't steal from stores. I just paranoid myself out, and then they can tell by the.
City. I feel.
You know, sometimes the office has to be bonded. Okay? So it always works the same way. It's just you need articles of incorporation. You need a certificate of incorporation. To operate a corporation, the post office, you need those two things, right? Notice of publication. You know, I mean, it's always the same thing. You just need to understand what